Hi, this is Barry here, and you are very, very welcome to today's podcast episode. Now, today's podcast episode, I want to talk about something that's really important, and that is finding your niche. Finding the group of people that you would like to help. Now, if you listened to yesterday's episode, you will have heard me talking about having a passion and then having a group of people that you can help. Because, as I said yesterday, there's two ways of making money online. You either entertain people or you educate people. And you're going to find that there's actually more money in educating people, of helping people with their pain points, their problems, and then providing solutions to those things. Now, when it comes to niches, you may be just thinking to yourself, well, what the hell is a niche? I know I did. When I came online, I just couldn't understand it for a long time. But by the time you get to the end of this podcast episode, I am going to explain it in simple man terms that I could understand. And if I know I could understand it, I know you definitely will be able to understand by the time I've gone through everything here. So when it comes to niches, what you need to think about niches is that niches are basically a group of people with a shared common interest. Now, you can be guaranteed that you right now are in a lot of niches, and I'm in a lot of niches. Depending on, our pastimes, our age, the things that we are interested in, and all those different things, we slot into different niches. You may find that even something like movies. Maybe you like sci-fi movies. So then you would be in the niche for sci-fi movies. Maybe I like thriller books. So then I would be in a category or a niche of readers who like thriller books. So basically that's all really a niche is just a group of people that have a common interest. And then what you need to do is you need to find where your passion can help a group of people with a shared interest. Now, hopefully your passion is something that a lot of other people are interested in. And as I said yesterday, if this group of people have problems in that niche, you can help them out. Now, what I want to talk about in this episode as well too is actually finding the niche within the niche. Now that probably seemed a little bit confusing, but by the time, as I said, you get to the end of this episode, you are going to understand it crystal clear. Because when it comes to niches, there are main categories online. So you would have maybe people who want to make money online. You have people who probably want to lose weight. You probably have people who want help with childcare. You've got people who want help with fixing their cars. So there's all these main categories that you can slot yourself into. Now, the mistake that too many of us make is that we actually get into a main category and stick there. What we do is, maybe if our passion is helping people lose weight, we just focus in general on weight loss. And because we focus on this main category, we don't stand out. We don't build an audience. And whatever we sell probably isn't going to sell well because it's too general. Now, to explain it a lot better, I want you to think about this for a moment. I want you to think of you starting a pet blog. Your passion is actually pets, and you want to create a blog about pets. Now, you can create a blog about pets. So on maybe Monday, you write about dogs. On Tuesday, you write about cats. Wednesday, you could write about snakes. Thursday, spiders. And you could just write on all these different topics. And that is just a general, blog about pets. Now, while that may be good and all, it's just a general blog. You're not really standing out because you're just providing general information to everyone. And you're going to find that if you're providing general information to everyone, it's not going to be something you're going to make a lot of money from because you need to get specialized. Again, it's just like doctors. A general doctor doesn't earn as much money as a brain surgeon. And that's because a brain surgeon is specialized. And that's what you need to think of when it comes to your niche. You need to think the more specialized you are, the rarer you are, and the more you can charge for your products and services because you're talking to a tiny little category on the internet. And you may find that maybe you're the only person in this little category. And because of that, you stand out. Now, putting that aside for a moment, just to go through this explanation of niches and finding the niche within the niche, we're going to go back to the pet blog again. So we're thinking to ourselves, well, this pet blog is too general. I want to go a little bit more specific. Now, what I could do is I could simply focus my blog on a particular animal. I could, turn my blog into a rabbit blog, or I could change it into a snake blog, or a dog blog, or a cat blog. So what I do is I decide to change it to a dog blog. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to talk about dogs all the time. So what I've done is I've moved from this general kind of pet theme, and I have narrowed my focus down to dogs. And I'm only going to solely focus on dogs. Now, so what I'm doing is I am writing about dogs, but what I'm going to do is I'm just going to write about all dogs. So on Monday, I'm going to write about Labradors. On Tuesdays, I'm going to write about Poodles. On Wednesdays, I'm going to write about Doberman and German Shepherds on Thursdays. And so what I'm doing is I'm just writing in general about dogs. Now, as you can see here again, even though I have moved down a category from pets to dogs, I'm still general. I'm not really standing out in the dog niche. So what I probably need to do is I need to go a little bit more specific. So what I can do is I can say to myself, well, instead of writing about all dogs, I'm just going to focus on the Labradors. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to niche down further, and I am going to talk to people who have a passion or who have an interest in Labradors. So what I simply do is I write about different topics that are only concerning Labradors. Now I'm sure you can see as we're niching down here, we're getting more specific. Now you're going to find that there are a lot of people all over the world that have Labradors who would be interested in what you have. But what I want you to do is I want you to go even more specific. I want you to think about the niche within the niche. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to look at our Labrador blog. And what we're going to do is we're going to think of the end user. Now, a lot of people have Labradors. You have people maybe who are single. You might have people who, have a dog but haven't got kids. You've got people who have kids and have a dog. You have older people who have a dog. So we've got all these different categories within our Labrador category. So what we can do is we can actually specialize even more. So say I'm going to decide, well, you know something? I'd like to write a blog for older people who've got a Labrador. So I've gone down another niche. So we started off with the pet niche, then we went to, the dog niche, now we're down to the Labrador niche, and what we're doing now is we're going even more specific, and we're focusing on older people who've got a Labrador. And so what I do is I write articles for older people that have a Labrador. Now, that might seem like a lot of work, but there's a really great point in this when you get really, really specific. By you getting really, really specific, it makes your job a lot easier when it comes to creating content. Too many of us, when we just kind of throw ourselves into a niche, we kind of go after a general niche and we're answering general questions. So again, going back to the pet blog, we're probably going to write, 5 things you need to know about buying a rabbit, or, general kind of things that you can find anywhere on Google. And while they may be helpful, they're not really specific, and they're not really attracting people to us, because we're just writing general articles about pets. Now, take that down to our blog that is about Labradors, and that's about for older people who've got a Labrador. Now, all of a sudden, my content is getting a lot more specific, because what I'm doing is I am thinking to myself, right, an older person who's got maybe a Labrador pup, what is going to be their problems? Well, they're going to have a dog who's got lots of energy. And then older on in life, they're probably not going to be as mobile as they used to. They mightn't be able to keep up with the dog. So they're going to have specific questions and problems related to a dog because of their age. Now, maybe I didn't settle on old people. Maybe I settled on someone who hasn't got kids, maybe is single, who is working all day, and they've got a Labrador in the backyard. And their problems with their Labrador in the backyard is that the dog is constantly being bored. He's constantly digging up holes. He's constantly barking. He's constantly making a nuisance of himself, which isn't the dog's fault. But because the dog is left at home, they have problems of how can they entertain the dog when they're away. What can they do? How can they stop them doing the constant barking or being lonely and things like that? So as you can see here, depending on the type of person that I am catering toward, my content is going to get a lot more specific. Now, an old person who might have a Labrador who goes to Google or goes to YouTube and types in the type of questions that I would be answering that is specific to them is going to make me stand out because I'm writing to them. And they're, as I said, going to have questions like, how can I keep up with a dog? How can I do things because I'm not mobile? And, stuff like that. They're going to be asking those specific things from their perspective. So when it comes to niches, the more you can get down from the main category into the head of the person that you'd like to help, the easier it's going to be for you to come up with content ideas, to create products, and to stand out. Because what you need to think about is for a moment is that the internet is just filled with thousands and thousands of people all day trying to sell everything and anything. And if you think you're going to turn up and actually get into one of those main categories and stand out, you're not. Because you can be guaranteed the big boys are already in there and you aren't just going to be in their shadow and never stand out. So what you need to think about is if you go after a niche, you can actually become a big name in a small niche. And that's what you need to do. You need to become a big name in a small niche rather than a small name in a big niche. Because when you're a big name in a small niche, you can actually expand from there. Again, going back to the blog. If I become maybe a big name in the small niche of writing content for Labradors, I'm probably going to attract other people who've got Labradors who probably have the same problems as older people. And what I can do is I can maybe start writing content for that person who's working all day and who's got a dog at home who's bored. And what I can do is I can move, or I can swallow up this other category, this other side category, and then write content for the person who's got the dog at home all day, but because they're working, they can't take care of it. So I'm sure you can see as you become a big fish in a small pond, you stand out and you suddenly become the person, the go-to person when it comes to creating content. If you've got an old person who's got a Labrador and they're having problems, you are going to be the person that they are wanting to follow and buy content or products off because you're speaking their language. So that's why it's really important for you to find out what niche you're going after. So what you need to do is you need to think your passion. What is the niche or the category that you can fit into? What is the group of people who have that shared interest with you, who have got pain points that you can help them with? And as I said previously in this episode, you need to find the pain points. You need to find what's troubling people right now. What's making their life a misery? What's, keeping them up at night? And the stronger the problem that those people have, and if you can answer it, the more you can charge for them to give the solution to get rid of that problem once and for all. So I'm sure as you can see here, as we kind of went through the different categories, from a general blog to a dog blog to a Labrador blog to a blog that caters to older people who've got Labradors, it's going to make your life so much easier. Because you're going to know when you come on today what article you're going to write. You're going to be writing to older people who've got Labradors. Again, the videos you make, you're going to be talking about that topic. When it comes to creating digital products, if you can maybe interview those people, maybe there is a Facebook group or something like that, you can actually get in, ask them some questions, or maybe just watch what's going on. Look at the content that people are putting up. You may find that maybe some people are posting problems they have, and then what you can do is you can simply get a piece of paper and then start writing down those pain points. And then what you can do is you can write content about that, you can make videos about that, or if you want to expand out, you can actually create a digital product about that. Or if you maybe do coaching or something like that, that will be the things that you would cover in your coaching, because that's the problems that people have. So when it comes to making money online, too many of us unfortunately come on and think, well, this is the problem my audience has and this is what I should provide. But really, no. I just ask you just to stop and think and look and see what's going on, because I've made that mistake myself. I have created digital products for an audience that wasn't there. I spent weeks making videos and making everything really nice, and then no sales. And then there's another time when I, maybe put together maybe 2 or 3 videos that only took me 15 minutes to do, and I made hundreds of dollars from it. And that was because that other product was catering to a problem that someone had. So, as I said, niches, they probably seem a little bit difficult to get your head around. But basically, it's just people who have a passion and are in a category. Now, you will find like that older person who's got that Labrador is probably in another niche. There's some other category. It could maybe reading. It could be maybe gardening or something like that. So, you may find that the niches, you're ideal client could be in a lot of different niches. Now, I don't want you chasing after all the different niches that they're in. I want you just to focus on the one that is closely related to your passion. And knowing your niche is really going to help you. It's going to help you stand out. It's going to help you with your content ideas. It's going to help you be a big name in a small pond. And then as you outgrow that little pond that you're in, you can move out to side categories and then help those people and move out to other side categories. And you will find that some people online right now who are well known for certain things, you can be guaranteed if you were to go back through their past work, you'll probably find that they started off in a niche. Even take Gary Vee for a moment. Like, everybody knows Gary Vee. Well, most people on the internet knows Gary Vee. But if you go back to Gary Vee, even though right now he's probably doing a lot of motivational content and he's talking about TikTok and talking about the social media platforms he should go on and talking about all social media. But if you go back through Gary's journey, he simply just started off with a video series on YouTube that was talking about wine. And he actually became, or was seen as, the expert on wine on YouTube. And what he did was, as he built an audience there, he moved out from there. Again, we look at someone like Mr. Beast or something like that. If you go back through his history, I think he started off in Minecraft or something like that. He used to make the videos there, made a name for himself in Minecraft, and then expanded from there. And then you can be like that there as well too. You can be a big fish in a small pond and then build from there. So hopefully this was helpful, getting the idea of niches into your head. As I said, it took me a while to understand it. But when it comes to niches, I want you to also think about the niche in the niche. I want you to think of the end user. Again, we're going back down to this elderly person who's got the dog. And I'm sure you can see that, the more specific you get, it's going to make your life a lot easier, because you're going to know what you're going to be doing. You're going to know exactly what the pain points are, and it's going to help you make a lot of money online. Have a lovely day. Bye-bye.